What's up guys, CJ here, and today in this video we're going to talk about artifacts and how they play a significant role in your character's damage dealing, as well as stats to look for in these said artifacts, as well as artifact domains to farm for. Now, if you guys haven't checked out my last video, link will be in the description below for that video, and I really highly recommend you check that one out first because it really will prepare you for this moment of farming artifacts, as well as preparing you on what to do before AR-45 when you actually can farm artifacts as well. Now, most of you that are watching this video have probably already got AR-45, have already done your talents, your character levels, and your weapon maxed out or close enough to maxed out to where you're comfortable enough with farming artifacts now. However, you guys are just confused on which artifacts to farm or what stats to look for because there's so many artifacts to farm and there's so many domains to run as well. So hopefully this video clears up any misunderstandings or confusion that you guys may have. And hopefully it'll also help you out in your journey. So without further ado, let's get started on to the first point. The first point that I love to discuss is know which characters you want to farm your artifacts for. I see some accounts and I see them struggling because they keep on farming for all these different characters and have the wrong sets or have the wrong artifacts or just a randomized subset because they don't know which artifacts to farm for, they don't know which sets or which stats to look for. So definitely make sure you have a couple of characters that you have in mind that you want to farm for first. Now the second point I would love to get into with you guys is which stats to look for in your set artifacts. For instance, if you're building your main DPS for the first time, the stats you would most likely want to look for are attack percentage, an elemental damage bonus goblet, depending on which elements corresponding with your character, and a crit hat or a crit circlet. Crit rate or crit damage circlet is what you'll be looking for. And if your character scales off HP, then you just replace the attack percentage with HP percentage. Now we're moving on to the third point, and the third point that I would love to talk to you guys about is which artifact domains to farm. Which artifact domains would be best to farm in and to save your resources so you can have more to spend in the future on another character or on your current characters to make them as godly as possible and dealing a lot of damage. So the artifact domains in question that I would love to be talking about, I'm gonna name 3 of them. And the first one that I would love to discuss is the Inazuma domain, which has Emblem of Severed Fate and Shiminawa's Red Resistance. Now this domain is really resin efficient, and both of these sets can be used on multiple characters, and they're very versatile as well. Now the second artifact domain that I would love to get into is the Deepwood Memories domain, which is located in Sumeru. And basically, this domain will definitely be resin efficient to you guys if you are running a lot of Dendro-based teams, or if you're building a Dendro character as well, because a lot of those Dendro characters, both of these sets are really good on Dendro characters. And also, Electro characters, being the reactants of Dendro teams. As both Deepwood Memories and Gilded Dream artifact sets have very great 4-piece set bonuses for Dendro reactant teams. Now the third domain that I would love to get into with you guys is the Fontaine domain, the new Fontaine domain with the 2 new artifact sets. It's a really good domain to farm in if you have a Fontaine character or Fischl, or the 2 combined, because they're very good sets with very good 4-piece set bonuses, and they'll definitely be helpful to your characters too. And the Golden Troop set is very great on Fischl because it gives you a lot of elemental skill damage, and she really does damage based off her skill. Now the fourth main point that I would love to get into with you guys is actually a very unique point that I don't see a lot of content creators talking about, and that is to use the artifact strongbox, because there is a lot of set pieces in there that are still very useful and still best in slot to some characters to this very day. And what I want you to do is farm and fodder your crappy statted artifacts that you farm in the 3 domains that I mentioned before into the artifact strongbox to gain some of those set pieces as well for some set characters, so you can make your characters even stronger. Now the fifth point that I would love to discuss with you guys is substats to look for in these set artifacts. For instance, if you're a main DPS or sub DPS, you would most likely, the best subsets to look for are obviously crit rate and crit damage, along with attack energy recharge, and elemental mastery being a close second depending on the characters you're using. Now for supports, here's where things get a little nitty-gritty and a little confusing, and I have to be very particular with you guys about this because there are so many characters in this game that are considered supports. And the first type of support I would love to get into first, and what artifact stats you should build them with first, is the reactant supports, the elemental reaction supports that create so many elemental reactions, swirl supports, dendro reactant supports, etc. What I would recommend you guys doing for them is to stack elemental mastery and get a support weapon that boosts other characters' attack. Now the second type of support I would love to get into is the healing support, and the artifact stats that you want for this is just to basically stack as much HP as possible and have a healing bonus circlet for that said character that heals you. Now the third type of support that I love to get into with you guys is the shield support, and the artifact stats that you would want to look for in the shield supports are based off what that shield is based off of. Which, for instance, if your skill is scaled off of HP, you would stack HP on that said character to boost up your shield durability. That about wraps it up for this video, guys. If you really found this guide genuinely helpful, leave a like, share with your friends, and comment any suggestions that I have missed, because that really does help me out a lot, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I really genuinely hope you have a good day, guys. Peace.